authorities detained a Russian citizen Monday who they said was trying to smuggle 200 pounds of butter from Germany into Norway.
A Russian guy?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't sound like the Russians I know.
The butter
What's
running
going on
ring.
in Russia?
Well, they're trying to smuggle butter.
Someone's got to pull them aside and explain to them they're white. Now knock it off.
Yeah, but...
You guys are embarrassment.
Go straight.
There's something wrong with that country. They're
What are
the
you
most
doing with
fucked up
this
white
butter?
people on the planet. I mean, with a bullet, right?
A really good butter runner
Who's a more
wouldn't
fucked
even
up
use
white
butter
breed?
himself.
Yeah, sending all their hot women out for like mail order bride
They're just
stuff.
a fucking mess over there. Like it seems
Trading
like everyone's
ballpoint
on the
pens for
take.
jeans.
Everyone's being whored out. Everyone's in the mafia. Like everybody, someone has to pull them aside and explain to them. There are many fucked up nations, but rarely do they look like you. So get your shit together. And I know that communism.
Or change your face.
I know that sounds racist, and it is. I'm trying to encourage these people, and we have to shame them.
Tough love.
Yeah. Like
What would the argument be, though? Because it's like, okay, you're making a lot of money selling butter on the black market, or you could have our way of life, which includes fill in the blanks, Adam.
Well, first off, Fabio's not happy over this predicament because he cannot believe there's not butter that got over into that country. Somebody needs to explain to Russia that I know it's cold and you guys are former communists and you don't know how to lead yourself and you're a mess, but you're fucking embarrassing people. Knock it off. For Christ's sake. We're not talking about, we're not talking about, Central America here.
Right.
You guys have a space program. Let's get your shit together, would you? Wake up. Wake up, Whitey.
I feel like it's been a long time since they launched anything into space.
They're a weird group because they're, tenacious fighters. They have, they're
ambitious.
They're ambitious. They're resourceful. They had a space program. They did
They're
lots
a
of stuff, but they're
huge
also
nation.
just fucking alcoholics that whore their women out, too. I just got to get to the bottom of those people.
Can't win them all.
Yeah, I just don't. I would feel very uncomfortable with a Russian in the room. I would feel like I wouldn't have had a chance. They're scary people. They're fucked up breed. I don't know what's going on with that country.
Do you feel scared around Mila Jovovich?
She here?
No. You narrowly dodged that bullet.
No,
Well,
I was
listen.
saying, and I think we were talking about it. We were talking about, I don't think we were talking about it on the air, but we were talking about it off the air. I think, we were talking about how Bill Cosby, a few years back, essentially said, hey, black kids, pull your pants up, speak English, and try to get a job. And the whole black community turned on him for basically his message of pull your pants up.
I believe that the Jews should be killed.
So we were all just, as white people, musing that it was funny that the whole community turned on who was essentially the dad. It was like, his is your people's greatest success story and your people's father. And basically what he said is, look, if you want to compete and you want to get a job, you got to fucking pull your pants up and you can't speak Ebonics. And I went, fuck you. You're no longer, here, we're going to hang out with Al Sharpton now because he feeds us shit. And, he agrees with us and peddles bullshit to us, which, by the way, keeps us where we are instead of, giving us the tough love. But I think me, Mike, and Mike were driving around in some godforsaken city having a laugh about how all the blacks turned on Bill Cosby because he delivered that message, and now he's fucking the famous, the beloved guy's out. And then I also said, Jesus Christ, the guy had his son, killed execution style a few years earlier. You'd think they would have cut him a little slack. You know what I mean? I mean, he had his son, and maybe his only son, just literally just killed. And the conversation we're talking about was one, I remember it was the me doing Loveline for the first season. I think I was doing Loveline, and I was driving. His son wasn't a showbiz guy or anything. He was a teacher or some sort of educator. And I was driving home on the 405 freeway, and I was passing over Skirball, and he got killed between like 12:15 and 12:20 or something like that. And it was right when I would have been driving past. He just got a flat tire. He just pulled off the freeway, and he just got shot in the head. Like some guy came up to him and said, hey, man, give me your money. And I don't know. He said no or whatever. And the guy just shot him point blank, just killed him, right? Just like nothing. And then I was saying the guy who killed him was Russian. And I have this theory that the Russian guys aren't used to seeing the brothers. And maybe they only know what they know from the gangbanger movies or whatever it is. Yes, name is Mikhail, Ukrainian immigrant who worked at the nearby restaurant, approached a driver's side window of, I don't know why it says Crane's vehicle, and pulled a gun on him. Let's say Crane's vehicle.
Because it's probably from Wikipedia.
Oh, okay. His name is Bill Cosby. Anyway, he just killed him, just flat out killed him. And I had this. Cosby was on his way to visit a friend. Oh, okay, the friend was in there. I had this theory that the Russian dude who was not used to, there were no Bill Cosbys growing up for him, and maybe no Michael Jordans growing up for him, and he probably looked at a black person as less than a person because he grew up in a culture where they didn't have them and looked at them as a lesser, lesser human being, and thus made it easier to pull the trigger for nothing. I always said, I wonder if the guy had blue eyes and blonde hair, would that guy have just shot him in the head like he was nothing?
And if that were the case, Adam, both you and I would have not been spared.
That's right. Would he have, if he looked like one of his mates who he grew up with playing around? But anyway,
Dolph Lundgren.
Yes, thank you.
Ivan Drago.
Yeah.
If someone looked like Natasha around the block.
Mm-hmm.
That was a joke that didn't work. That's the news. I'm Allison Rosen. Zip it, cunt.
Jenny.
That was the news with Allison Rosen.
I'm trying to go for a Russian name.
Oh, okay, yeah.
How about leaving the jokes to Adam?
I'm going to do that from now on.
But Russia, fucking mess, right?
Yeah.
They got to get
poor.
They got to get their shit together over there. Yeah, someone's got to straighten them out. And I know just a man. Discount Tire in America's Tire. I got a little Facebook contest. You want to come out here? I think this will be from the United States. I hope you don't come out from Russia. Yeah. Let's send. And by the way, hold on a second. I'm not. Russia's fucked up our life essentially. Like they're a mess. I mean, they've killed millions and millions of their own and millions of others, and taken, cost us billions and billions. And you know how many fucking Nike missile silos there are built all over North America, and radar sites and all the billions. I mean, do you know how much infrastructure and how much, we could have a fucking rail system in this country if it weren't for the goddamn Russians and their fucking Cold War bullshit. And everyone goes, well, that's us, that's them, that's us, that's them. No, they were wrong. They took Berlin, they split it in half, they created a fucking ghetto on one side of it. I mean, they're just fucked up. They're a mess. And we could have created something really nice after World War II, and they got greedy and they got shitty, and quietly they don't really get their due, but they've probably, everyone focuses on Germany and Hitler and all the atrocities there, and sort of Japan and Pearl Harbor and all that shit. I would say when the dust settles on that century, Russians quietly did more damage than any other culture, and cost
well, in terms of people
more.
That were killed, yeah.
Yes. God damn. We should hate Russia a lot more than we do. All right. Anyway, Discount Tire in America's Tire.
I'm going to set a reminder on my phone to hate Russia.
Please.